So, Banner. That's your play.
What?
Loki means to unleash the Hulk. Keep Banner in the lab. I'm on my way. Send Thor as well. Thank you.
According to Daniel RPK, a pretty reliable leaker, Taylor Swift and Kevin Feige have talked about her possibly playing the Blonde Phantom, aka Louise Mason. The show, set in 1950s Las Vegas, is a spy series produced by Scarlett Johansson. Now, you might be wondering, who the heck is the Blonde Phantom? Well, picture this. It's the late 40s, and Marvel wants its own version of Wonder Woman, but instead of a warrior princess, they create a secretary who secretly fights crime at night as a masked superhero. The twist? Her boss is totally into her superhero alter ego, completely clueless that she's actually his secretary by day. That pretty much sums her up. But if you're really curious, here's the full scoop. Louise Grant, born in Hoboken, New Jersey, worked as a secretary for private detective Mark Mason. She had a huge crush on her boss and wanted to help him crack cases, so she took matters into her own hands, literally. At night, she suited up in a sleek red evening gown with a slit, high heels, and a black domino mask, fighting crime as the Blonde Phantom. She was athletic, skilled in martial arts, and packed a .45 caliber pistol. In a classic case of superhero irony, Mark was head over heels for the Blonde Phantom, but didn't give Louise a second glance. She even teamed up with the All-Winner Squad at one point and took on all sorts of villains, from gangsters and femme fatales to Baron Frankenstein, Carlo the Killer, the Mad Magicians, and Stillface, a guy whose busted-up face was rebuilt with plaster. In the modern age, Louise Grant hung up her crime-fighting heels, married Mark Mason in 1949, and took his last name. They had 2 kids, Wanda and Earl. After Mark's death, she went back to work as a legal secretary for District Attorney Blake Tower in the sensational She-Hulk, where she often played the voice of reason for both Tower and Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. Despite trying to live a normal life, Louise kept getting roped into She-Hulk's wild adventures, sometimes willingly, sometimes not. From fighting Stilt Man to dealing with a town where even swearing could get you killed, she saw it all. She even tagged along with She-Hulk into outer space, teaming up with Razorback, U.S. Archer, and an alien named Al. At one point, she was captured by the Mole Man, but thanks to some mysterious chemicals, she ended up rejuvenated into a younger version of herself. Louise Mason, affectionately called Wheezy, even found love again, starting a relationship with Jennifer Walters' dad, Morris Walters, in She-Hulk number 36. Things got even wilder when she temporarily swapped bodies with She-Hulk in issues number 48 to 49. She loved the super strength and power so much that she didn't want to switch back, until Morris convinced her he loved her just the way she was. As for her abilities, the Blonde Phantom had no actual superpowers. She was just highly athletic, great at hand-to-hand combat, a sharpshooter with a .45, and of course, a top-tier secretary, first for Mark Mason's detective agency and later for New York's District Attorney Blake Tower. So if this show gets made, expect some intense secretarial action. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige first hinted at Scarlett Johansson's return as a producer back in 2021, after Black Widow and her legal battle with Disney. In 2023, Johansson confirmed to comicbook.com that her MCU project is still happening, though we still don't know exactly what it is. She said, "It is still happening." Yes, it is still happening, but not currently because nothing is happening right now. We're all sort of in this holding pattern as we wait out the writer's strike and potentially our own guild strike, and so on and so forth. Right before the strike, we were in the middle of developing it, and now everything is at a simmer. After the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, work likely picked up again on Scarlett Johansson's secret MCU project. Recent buzz suggests this could be the Blonde Phantom's big debut, and now Taylor Swift's name is floating around as the potential lead. But there are plenty of other great choices to bring Louise Mason to life for the first time in live action. One strong contender? Rebecca Rittenhouse. She's not a huge name, which fits Marvel's trend of turning lesser-known actors into stars. You might recognize her from Blood and Oil, The Mindy Project, and Maggie. She's got the perfect mix of drama and comedy to pull off the Blonde Phantom's dual life as a vigilante and secretary. Much like Clark Kent balancing Superman, Rittenhouse's down-to-earth look would work well for Louise Mason's double identity. This wouldn't be her first shot at a Marvel role either. She was once considered for Vanessa in Deadpool before Marina Baccarin landed the part. Fans have also imagined her as Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman, but she could be an even better fit as the Blonde Phantom, especially with Scarlett Johansson producing. Another strong contender? Elizabeth Moss. Given her incredible career, it's surprising she hasn't joined a superhero franchise yet. From Mad Men and The Handmaid's Tale to Shining Girls, she's mastered playing strong, complex women, something that would translate perfectly to the Blonde Phantom. Moss has also starred alongside several MCU vets, including Tom Hiddleston, Robert Redford, and Lupita Nyong'o, proving she can hold her own in big productions. She excels at making layered characters relatable, which would be perfect for Louise Mason, a regular woman trying to balance heroism with her everyday life, despite having no actual powers. As a self-proclaimed feminist, Moss would also bring the right energy to the Blonde Phantom, a character who paved the way for Marvel's future female heroes. Under Scarlett Johansson's guidance, she could make the role something truly special. Moving on, we have Millie Bobby Brown. She could be another great pick for the Blonde Phantom, especially with Stranger Things wrapping up after its 5th season. She's already proven she can handle action-heavy roles, and with her international success as 11, an MCU debut seems inevitable. Brown actually auditioned for X-23 in Logan, but lost out to Daphne Keane. Since then, she's been linked to Eternals and fan cast as Kitty Pryde, but maybe Louise Grant Mason is the perfect fit. She'd bring a fresh, youthful energy to the role, and her physicality would make those action scenes pop in a way older actors might struggle with. If she takes on the Blonde Phantom, it could be her entry point into a long and exciting MCU career. With Scarlett Johansson producing, Brown could bring the character to life in a way that balances classic noir vibes with modern superhero action. Sydney Sweeney definitely deserves a superhero comeback after Madam Web. She's been killing it ever since her breakout role as Cassie in Euphoria, but her big superhero debut in 2024's Madam Web wasn't exactly a highlight. That said, it's got fans dreaming up better Marvel roles for her, like the Blonde Phantom in the MCU. Unlike the timid and forgettable Julia Cornwall from Madam Web, Blonde Phantom would be a much better fit. Sweeney has already nailed roles that are dramatic, seductive, and powerful, so she could totally bring this character to life. Louise Mason. Blonde Phantom's civilian identity is quiet and reserved, which Sweeney can pull off effortlessly, but when it's time for action, she could turn up the intensity and own the role. Sure, Madam Web was a rough start in the superhero world, but if the MCU gave her a shot as Blonde Phantom, she could really shine. And finally, we've got the ultimate pick. Margot Robbie would absolutely crush it as Blonde Phantom. Since her breakout roles in About Time and The Wolf of Wall Street, Robbie has become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. She's proven her talent and box office power in films like I, Tonya, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Mary, Queen of Scots, and Barbie. Plus, she's no stranger to superhero flicks, having played Harley Quinn in the DCEU. Jumping to the MCU seems like a natural next step. Fans once envisioned her as Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four, but since Vanessa Kirby landed that role, Robbie could be a perfect fit for Blonde Phantom instead. With her incredible range, she could effortlessly bring out all the layers of Louise Mason, a character balancing a complicated double life. And if Scarlett Johansson is involved in a Blonde Phantom project, we could even see them reunite after Asteroid City. Now that would be something. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this project and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.